Hey moms, you know that priceless look your kids get when they're having the time of their lives? Well, I saw it again on our last trip to Disney's Hollywood Studios. This park is hands down my kids' favorite, and it's not just for the little ones. From toddlers to teens, everyone had the best time imaginable. Now, if you think this park is just for the Star Wars enthusiasts or the thrill seekers, think again. Trust me, there's magic here for every age. So stick around because I've also got a travel agent pro tip that's going to change the way you plan your trip. So let's dive in, starting with how perfect Hollywood Studios is for toddlers. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This bright, colorful, and delightfully unpredictable adventure brings classic Mickey and Minnie animation to life like never before. With twists, turns, and unexpected surprises at every corner, it's pure Disney magic in motion. Next up, Alien Swirling Saucers. Zoom through Toy Story Land on a whirling, twirling adventure with little green aliens. With gentle spins and playful music, this ride delivers just the right amount of excitement, perfect for the little ones who can't stop giggling. On to Disney Junior Play and Dance. If your toddler loves Disney Junior, this show is a must. They'll dance, clap, and sing along with their favorite characters. Plus, you get to see Vampirina up close, and watching their face light up with joy makes it just as magical for you too. Now let's talk about the grade schoolers, the ones with boundless energy and love and adventure. First up, the ever so popular Slinky Dog Dash. Slinky Dog Dash is the ultimate first roller coaster experience. My 7-year-old had a blast and even got me to raise my hands in the air. And for an extra dose of magic, be sure to ride at night because Toy Story Land lights up, creating a whole new level of fun. Next up, we've got Toy Story Mania. And let me tell you, we had an epic family showdown on this 4D ride, and my 9-year-old totally crushed it. And now she won't stop bragging. But it's loaded with interactive fun, making it a ride you'll want to experience over and over. We take it to the next level by betting on who will win, with the champ picking the snack spot afterward.
Hey there, Disney fans! Are you planning a trip to Hollywood Studios? We've got an exclusive guide packed with even more insider tips and hidden gems that you won't find in this video. Click the link in the description to get your free copy now. Just enter your email and unlock all the secrets to making your visit unforgettable. Happy planning!
Okay, friends, who doesn't love Frozen? Even if you've heard Let It Go 100 times, the Frozen sing-along celebration is still a total blast. The narrators are hilarious, and the snow falling in the end? Oh, pure magic. My kids were singing the songs all the way to their next adventure. Hollywood Studios really nailed it for the preteens who can be tough to impress. So let's start with the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. They got to fly the Millennium Falcon. My preteen son took his role as pilot very seriously, while my daughter had a blast as the gunner. And we're still talking about our missions days later. It was just so cool. Now on to Rise of the Resistance. This is not just a ride. It's a fully immersive Star Wars experience. So from the incredible storytelling and mind-blowing effects to the First Order officers, it feels like you're right in the middle of all the action. And this was personally my favorite ride. Now let's have some fun on Rock and Roller Coaster. For my thrill-seeking preteen, this coaster was a dream come true. The launch? Intense. Like, really intense. But the music was epic. And the ride photos? Hilarious. And for the teens who sometimes pretends they're too cool for Disney, spoiler alert, they loved it. Who's ready for Tower of Terror? This ride is an absolute classic. From the eerie haunted hotel vibe to the jaw-dropping drops, my teens were screaming, laughing, and immediately ready to go back again and again and again. Next up, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. My teens totally geeked out in this amazing land. From building their own lightsabers and sipping blue milk to snapping selfies with stormtroopers, it really is a must-see adventure. Lastly, let's talk about Fantasmic. This nighttime spectacular blew everyone away, even my too cool for everything teenager. But seriously, is there anything better than wrapping up your day with fireworks and water projections that feature all of your favorite Disney characters? It really is the best. Okay, moms, that's a wrap on our top picks across all age groups at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This park truly has something for everyone in the family. But let me know in the comments what age group you're planning for, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more Disney tips. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
What do you feel like are the must-see attractions at Hollywood Studios for, let's just say, families of all ages? So you've got little ones to teenagers and adults all going. What would be your suggestion for like the must-see attractions for a family like that?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. See it all. Toy Story Land. That's probably like a must. Really to just do with any kids. My son absolutely loved the Star Wars area. And he's 3. You know, Frozen, Ever After, the sing along. That is a must. I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't want to do that. I don't know. Just do it. Just do it because everybody's gonna smile and laugh because the comedians, they're great. There's a lot of adult humor in there, and everybody has a good time. You can nap in the beginning of the show. You can nap through the whole show if you want to. My husband did. He napped in the beginning, so you know it's fine. But yeah, that I feel like you just really need to do that. I like Minnie's the Runaway Railway. That one's fun. But I mean, I could probably spend all day in Toy Story.
Yeah, I think Frozen is often missed with families of all ages. And we took my son, and of course, you know, he was like 16, 17, and, you know, this is torture, and, you know, why are you making me do this? And he couldn't really remember, you know, the experience from previous trips, and he was laughing. I mean, there were like teenage boys and men in there having a great time because it's like a comedy show and there's adult jokes and they finally can get them, you know? And so, yeah, I think that honestly is a can't miss. I totally agree there. What like hidden gems or other underrated attractions, shows, rides, spaces at Hollywood Studios do you feel like people glance over and don't actually experience but have to be experienced at Hollywood Studios?
Well, it's getting put to the side more and more, but I'm OG and it's a fantastic show. So I'm still going with Indiana Jones. Stunt spectacular. I will admit that I honestly don't think that show has really changed in the last, like, had a huge change in so many years. There's still so many of the same jokes, and I still laugh at them every time. Every actor delivers them differently every time. It's hilarious. I mean, there's some stuff that's a little alarming, like there's fire bursts and stuff, and you know, you're gonna have toddlers go, oh, I really wasn't expecting that. But they're also gonna totally believe that that boulder really did almost like, you know, take somebody out while all the rest of us don't know it. So it's totally more exciting to them. You know, so I think Indiana Jones gets completely overlooked over there, and more and more because you walk right past it to get to Star Wars, Star Tours and Galaxy's Edge and everything. But and now it's going to be overlooked as you pass over to Monsters Inc., which is coming in 27. But uh, stop by on your way by. Like, it's hilarious and it's a ton of fun. And, you know, it's a 20-minute long show. So if you feel like you can nap during explosions, then you can nap there too.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's changed, and they used to have audience participation. Do you remember when they used to do that?
So I remember when they used to do that, but I always thought that it was not really audience participation, and I went recently and they had audience participation again, but they always seemed to be somebody who was planted there. So I don't know if there was ever, I don't remember there ever being a point where it wasn't a plant.
They do have a plant, but
Yes.
I was in the show. I got chosen
Oh,
for the show.
so they really had audience participation.
Yeah. So of course, like usually at any point, if they're asking for participation, I, jump up and throw my hat in the ring. And so they picked me, and you would go back and you actually got like robes on, and then they would take you down and you like, I don't know, they asked you questions and you had some like participation. I can't even remember honestly, but my kids were probably like, I don't know, 6 and 10 or 8 and 12 or something like that. And of course they were like, oh my gosh, they were like, Mom, what are you doing? But I was like all about it.
Fantastic. But I guess it's not really underrated or not like hidden gem, but I think it's really worth it to go there and see it.
I think you're right though, that like maybe when you're at Hollywood Studios, it's not overlooked, but it's overlooked in people's planning for the end of the night shows. Like they're always like, we're gonna watch the fireworks at Epcot and MK, and they never mention Fantasmic. And I'm like, well, are you gonna go to Fantasmic? And they're like, oh, we didn't even know. Tell us about it. And it's like, how do you not even know? Like it's a giant theatrical show. Like, so like while you're at your day there, it may not be overlooked, but people do not plan for it. And they're always like, they always say they're going to park hop from Hollywood Studios to Epcot fireworks and skip
I do the opposite. I go from Epcot to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Fantasmic usually has better time for me than like the fireworks, because there are regularly Fantasmic points that are like before the end of the day. If I can catch a Fantasmic show at 6:30 at night, like great, I can be back at my hotel room by 10.
Also, using your dining credit to get the Fantasmic dining package is such brilliant use of your credit. Like, it's just, I mean, you can get good seats if you don't have the dining plan, but using that dining credit for its Fantasmic package, brilliant.
Yeah, because I think one of them is 1 credit, right?
Yeah.
Like Brown Derby is not 1 credit, but what is it? Hollywood and Vine, I think, is 1 credit or whichever.
Hollywood, Sci-Fi, Mama Melrose,
50s Prime.
50s Prime Time. They're all 1 credit, and you get the Fantasmic VIP seating with it.
And if you miss that, or like somehow it doesn't work out, they have another show, a supplemental like movie magic show that I went to go see, and that was like pretty good, I thought. Yeah. So I feel like that one's underrated. So, okay. Amy, how do you manage the long lines at Hollywood Studios? Because as we know, the multi-pass, premier pass are, definitely more useful at Hollywood Studios. There's less attractions there for people to go to, so that makes for longer lines overall. So how are you managing those?
Well, my daughter, she's older now, so we usually skip all of like the little kids shows and stuff. So we go right for Rock and Roller Coaster is what it was when we were there last, and we camped out, and it is a really big line. But I think if we went back, we would probably plan smarter with lightning lanes, and just kind of managing our day as, like I know Megan said earlier, with people watching Fantasmic, if we can go and slide in on one of those bigger roller coasters, that's probably how we would do it.
Anybody else for tips on?
That's what we did.
Yeah, I mean,
we did that. We got in around 4-ish and went just straight to Hollywood Studios. And while everybody else was at the show, we went and rode Slinky Dog at night. Yeah.
I always rope drop Hollywood too. Well, I always rope drop everything, but I always get
Lightning Lane multi-pass for Hollywood because the lines do get very long very quickly. And I love all of the rides there. So even if I go on them twice, I'm not mad about it. I'm happy to pay for that. But I rope drop them and I can usually get on like probably 3, maybe 4 rides before the lines start getting long.
That's pretty
And
good.
then using the middle of the day to do all of those shows and then revisiting some rides at the end of the night that, don't fit in with the lightning lanes. So the lines are really, really long there. I usually don't ever wait more than 15 minutes because using all of those strategies together.
I will
Yeah.
say that after hours, the paid
Mhm.
after hours is amazing. It's a bit of a smaller park, things are more condensed, you can really like blow through, but also deluxe after hours. So I was there for that, and I think I could have done just about every ride in that park twice, like at some kind of after hours event, because you could just plow through because you're just like walking onto everything. So I'll put a plug out there for deluxe resorts, because if they continue to have deluxe after hours there, that to me is huge, and it's included with your
And
stay.
Hollywood Studios does have more than the usual number of single rider lines, and I use those a lot because most of the rides. So my thing about Hollywood Studios is that it does tend to have fewer rides anyone under the height of 40 inches can do. Slinky Dog is 38. My daughter is 38 inches, depending on the shoes she's wearing, apparently, at least according to some staff members. She shrank 2 weeks later after she did Seven Dwarfs. Um, and then Alien Swirling Saucer, I think, is 32 inches. There's only 2 rides without height limits, and it's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and um, Midway Mania in Toy Story Land. So it's not the park for toddler rides, but there's a lot of entertainment. But also, it's the park where if you're gonna single rider and somebody's gonna hang out with your toddler, that's the one to do it at, because they've started pretty consistently having Rise of the Resistance single rider. They've got Millennium Falcon's Mint single rider, and that is the easiest. If you're willing to be the engineer, you can get on that so fast. And then Rock and Roller Coaster has single rider, although I'll say their single rider line is hit or miss if it's faster. Uh, you can get a wait there, but even that, use single rider wherever you can. So it's a great park for that.
Jessica, any last thoughts about Hollywood Studios, experiencing that with your family?
I would say it's a hotter park than normal, that utilize the shows as much as you can to stay cool and to keep your family from heat strokes, going insane, and getting too irritable, because just waiting in lines, it's super hot, and it's not one that I feel that has a lot of shade compared to other parks, and I just feel like it's like a walking, like, I don't know, desert. But it's still like amazing to use the shows as a good way to stay cool and monitor that.
I love Hollywood Studios for their shows.
I think of the 4 parks, it's the one that needs the most strategy before you walk in the door. And it also really, really has become a 2-day park. If you want to see all the shows and all the rides, because once you start doing those shows, it eats up a lot of the middle of the day. And so it really has become a 2-day park at this point. And so going in with a strategy, spending the money on the individual lightning lanes and the multi-pass is a really good use of your money if you're like picking and choosing what you're using, which parks you're using it for. So this one requires thought before you walk in the door.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree, and I also feel like it might be the park where it's the most worth it to spend more money. And I don't just mean on Lightning Lane. I mean, you can spend Lightning Lane at Magic Kingdom easily. You could get a Premier Pass at Magic Kingdom easily. But I feel like Magic Kingdom's such a big park, I would feel dead on my feet if I tried to do all the rides, even if I had a Premier Pass. It's just not going to happen. But, Premier Pass at Hollywood Studios is going to get you on all the rides, and it's a smaller park. So it's like more value for your money. Plus, it's usually a lower cost than Magic Kingdom, anyways. But then on top of that, it's also the park where there are a lot of other experience that you're going to find value for that money, like build a droid, and you have, a hilarious droid that will interact with the scenery around you. And then you can use him all day long and he can talk to other droids at your house. So building a droid, as much as it's an expense, we use our droid all the time. We think he's hilarious. He's still used and we call him he, like he's part of the family now. Or building a lightsaber. Like these are big experiences that were like worth it. Whereas I feel like sometimes there are experiences that you leave after and you're like, did I really get my money's worth at the end of that? But Hollywood Studios has a lot that it's like worth it to go into and say, this is the park where I'm going to invest in the experiences around here. It's got a lot of them.
Well, I think that depending on how much you want to do with Star Wars, you could make it a 2-day, because one of the other things that people overlook is the Play Disney app and the interactiveness in Star Wars. And if you really want to fully experience that land, you're probably looking at like a good half a day, I would say.
Yeah, the whatever their the Play Disney like mission.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but we've played that before, and we've actually played it now that like our kids are older. They both want to do it, so we had both phones going. And we kind of had to made it kind of a challenge, and it wasn't so difficult, but it was not easy. So it was definitely something to like let your kids take over the phone and like really enjoy. And it was fun and immersive. And I'm not overtly a Star Wars fan, but that land is so well done, and the details and the just everything about it is really neat. And I've been a million times and I still find like new things and new crooks and nannies and little treats. So and like I said, I'm not even overtly a Star Wars fan. It's
I
great.
feel like Hollywood Studios is like the dad park too, because also don't overlook Baseline Tap House. Beer, charcuterie, shade. That is a little hidden gem over there. Dad's gonna love it. Between that and Star Wars, like he's covered. So
And if you want the dining the whole family will like, including dad, I mean, there's also the Roundup Rodeo,
in sci-fi,
Woody's Rodeo Roundup barbecue, because it's barbecue food, pretty much all you can eat. So you've got, I don't want to say the dads, but let's face it, the dad's covered. And then you've got the kids because you are a toy in a big giant Toy Story land. It's awesome and well themed and cute, and also probably everybody in your family is going to find something they like to eat between cornbread and whatever. It's a very approachable food, so it's a very very good restaurant to just grab a lunch for, and pretty easy to grab a lunch reservation for last minute.
Is to definitely look, like when you're walking through the different lands, is to slow down and to really look, because you can easily overlook another part, like the Pixar area where Mr. Incredible is at. Like you can easily just walk right past that if you're not really looking. We went and saw Olaf, and we literally walked right in because there was nobody there. So it's like nobody ever knows that they're there. I mean, Minnie's there, Mickey's over there, and I was like, you just slow down and just really watch. And there's also like you have the toy soldiers, the army men, like they come through Toy Story. You have Ray that walks around. A few others that walk around Star Wars, and it's just nice to just slow down and just take it all in and make sure you're seeing everything, and that you're just not tunnel vision, and that you're seeing everything.
Get the
There's
full
so much more
Disney experience.
interactive there.
Yeah.
The characters are so much more interactive at Hollywood Studios.
I was just there the other day and we saw Pinocchio and Geppetto and Pluto up front, like right when you walk in the park. And I also saw Winnie the Pooh outside of the park, like before you even come in.
They
So
had
there's
Mary
a lot of
Poppins there.
characters everywhere. Yeah.
They had Mary
remember-
Poppins and Princess Tiana, and I was like,
I remember seeing Sophia the first, and I was like, "You're my favorite." Well, she was she was so sweet, and Rafiki.
Well, and that's the thing to note. Disney Junior fan.
Yes.
Vampirina is there. Like
the Disney Junior
Vampirina-
show. The
Like,
show.
Yeah, it's big.
Disney Junior fans. Like
Jake
it's the
and the
only
Pirates.
place to go.
Yep.
Mickey spent about a half hour with my daughter, just playing with my
wow.
daughter in the room, and there was line, but just spent the whole time just hanging out. He was crawling on the floor with her, and it was just an amazing experience. And like that whole area is just perfect.
Yeah, even the ones walking around, even if you don't like Star Wars, I recommend going on Rise of the Resistance with somebody who just likes to make trouble. Even if you're horribly embarrassed like me, I'm a Shadows person, but even the staff who aren't characters, like on rides like Rise of the Resistance, they're in character, and it's a totally different experience than anywhere else. You might get a surly guy getting you on board on Pirates of the Caribbean, but nothing quite like somebody telling you that they're gonna, where they're going to put you before you get, a lightsaber shoved through you or something like that. Like, they really get into the whole role, and it's hilarious, and they come back so quick to the comments that you might make. So yeah, go with a troublemaker on Rise of the Resistance and let them talk to the cast, because even the cast are more interactive at Hollywood Studios.
Done.
I was going to say another thing not to miss is Oga's Cantina, even for all ages, because they have so many non-alcoholic beverages as well. And it is so fun. We have to go every time that we go, and the kids love it. The drinks are so fun. They love like the Bespin Fizz that's like bubbling in their face and has the frog eggs in the bottom of it. And I love the fuzzy tauntaun that like numbs your mouth. It's the most unique drink I've ever had, and it's just a really cool experience.
Yeah, agreed. This has been fun talking about this. I feel like you like forget how much there really is and like how fun it is. I mean, it's my favorite park, but still, like
Mine too.
when you talk to a lot of people, it's not their favorite park, and so
That's usually when I skip. Yeah, that's usually when I skip. But y'all brought up a lot of good points where I'm like, maybe I should just plan a day.
Yeah, I'm
hang
thinking
out
same
and
thing. Like
relearn.
it's the park I skip if I'm gonna skip a park.
Yeah.
Because
What's wrong with you people?
Right.
if you're going with the little ones who want to go
I
on
don't
rides,
understand the concept of any of them being skipped.
if I'm gonna skip a park, it's gonna be the one where I can't take my daughter on rides, And the two rides,
Characters.
like
I mean, but there's so many things.
Yeah.
Like
right.
you go
and
enough.
that's what I'm saying.
you
Like,
go
I should
enough.
go and do it more. But if
See, yeah,
there's a
like,
park I
I
skip, it's usually the height
understand.
limit ones.
I mean, like, I would understand if, like, you only went once a year and she was 2 and you wanted to do other things, but you're there enough that, like, it's fine. I mean, that's the way we feel, and we've only been going once a year because we've been doing other trips, and we do each park only once. We literally have annual passes to go every day, and we don't because we like go to the pool and stuff, but we have to do every park. Like, there's just no not
So for
doing
us,
it.
like, we're gonna do it at some point in the year, but usually when something's coming up. But when we just pick a random Saturday to go, we're just gonna go with our kid, and we're gonna go to a park where she's gonna have the most fun. And usually that's not gonna be the park where she's gotta sit through a show, even if it's a really funny show.
You know what? That's
know.
also something for planning. You just said, like, on a random Saturday, this park is the one that tops out on crowds almost every day as well. So you can plan it for any day of the week. So other parks have like popular days versus not popular days, but Hollywood Studios is very steady. So it's a good one to throw on a weekend day, Friday, Saturday, because the crowds are the same no matter what day of the week you go. So
That's good to know.
Except I will say during Christmas season, plan for Jollywood Nights. They don't
yes.
really, I want to say they don't really close early. It's maybe an hour early.
2 hours.
Okay, 2 hours early, which isn't huge in the grand scheme of things, but they also don't really get the dip that you might hear about on
Right.
party days. Like on party
No.
days, Magic Kingdom during Christmas season might have a dip because they're going to close early and then it's going to be party folk. You don't see that at Hollywood Studios, so plan to have a whole day at Hollywood Studios
Yeah.
when there are parties there.
I went on a party day, and I think it was because the weather was also not going to be the best. It wound up being a fine day, but we had the best day ever. We walked on everything all day long. It was amazing.